When I thought about how I was living my life, I realized that there were 6 particular needs, 6 things that if I could somehow figure out how to meet in my life, things would kind of work out really well. Now, these 6 needs were basically this. 1, love and compassion. I believe all human beings need a little bit of love and compassion in their lives. Number 2, gratitude. The idea of being happy and not tying your happiness to some future goal, but being happy for what you've thus accomplished so far. Peace. Being at peace with the world and the people around you. Vision. Yet, while having these initial 3 things, also having a vision for how you want your life to unfold in the future. And then, having a sense of control of how your day and your life is unfolding every single day. And finally, feeling supported. Feeling as if they are, in some ways, maybe luck or invisible forces supporting you in life so that the big projects that you're setting out to do, you know it's going to kind of be okay. As we go through life, sometimes this is what happens. We drop in certain areas. This simple 15-minute practice every single morning helps you level up in all of these areas. And it's really, really, really quick and really efficient. So again, it's called the 6-phase meditation. There's amazing amount of science on why meditation completely transforms you. What happens to your brain when you meditate? Well, drops blood pressure, and it actually gives you a healthier heart. It slows down aging. It reshapes your brain, slows down aging of the brain, leads to better decision making, attention, memory, and it makes you less reactive. You're less likely to get pissed off at the guy who cuts you off in traffic. All of this from meditation, and there's more. Yet the fact is, the sad fact is, with all of these benefits, why is it that right now, because meditation sometimes gets too difficult or too complex or get lumped together with cultural or religious practices? Well, the good news about what I'm going to show you is it's not about clearing your mind, at least not the style I'm going to teach you. It's about actively engaging your mind and asking yourself a series of questions to get you to reflect on certain things. And all of it takes about 15 minutes. Now, it's something you want to do every single morning. We've built a society and a culture where many of us forget that so much of what's going on in our head is under control. We've progressed as human beings in terms of our physical evolution, but not so much in terms of our mental progression, a mental evolution. So people will wake up and they would not dare skip a shower. Yet millions of people wake up every single day feeling dread or anxiety or stress or depression, and they're not trained to do anything about it. Simple practices like gratitude can elevate levels of happiness, but we don't learn that. Instead, especially in America, we learn to pop pills like Prozac. Why? Because the pharmaceutical lobby, massive. The gratitude lobby, tiny. So, the 6-phase meditation, right? I'm going to tell you about these 6 phases and how we're going to do them. So, the first phase is compassion, followed by gratitude, forgiveness, future dreaming, visualizing the perfect day, and then the blessing. Compassion is expressing the intention of moving from judgment to caring, from isolation to connection, from indifference or dislike to understanding. Basically, this phase is about feeling connected to other people and having a sense of compassion towards them. This is really important. There was a really famous study done at Harvard called the Very Happy People Study. And they wanted to find out what is the thing that correlates most to happiness. Now, it wasn't warm weather or, meeting your friends at the pub after work or having amazing great sex. It was the strength of your human connections. It was the only thing that seemed to correlate really well with happiness. Yet, if you look at the way we live the life right now, we often forget that. Now, the second phase is gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to up your levels of happiness. Science shows that it causes more energy, high emotional intelligence, forgiving attitudes, less depression, less anxiousness, more feelings of being socially connected, better sleep, fewer headaches, and all of that good stuff. Super, super, super simple. In this phase, you're simply going to think about 3 things that you're grateful for in your personal life, 3 things in your career, and 3 things that you're grateful for about yourself. It's that last bit that I found many people forget. We often expect love to come from outside sources, but we fail to truly, truly, truly love yourself. So in this particular gratitude practice, you think about your personal life, your career, but finally, you just love yourself and think about what you're truly grateful for that makes you you. Then we go on to the third phase, which is forgiveness. This is one of the most interesting ones. Science has shown that when you learn to forgive, all of us carry some sort of charge towards someone. It could be something from years ago or a waiter who screwed up your order this morning. But science shows that when you learn to forgive, interesting things happen. In one study, people with back pain, their back pain went away much faster. It leads to greater happiness, better heart health, all when you learn to let go of these charges. So there's a really interesting thing about how we work as human beings, right? It's called fundamental attribution error. Our primitive reptilian brains are always used to looking for danger. So we have this tendency where say we're in traffic and someone cuts us off, we immediately go into defensive mode and we start assuming that they're a freaking asshole. But if we do the same thing, we assume that it's only because, well, our kid, dear little Billy boy, was late for school. Or we had to get to work because there was an important project due. See, when someone else does it, we assume it's their character. When we do it, we assume it's circumstance. Now, we make these judgments about people all the time. All of you are judging me right now and judging each other. The problem is, these judgments often create charges. They create false ideas about another person. We carry them with us, and these charges hold us back. That's what this phase is about. Phase 3, forgiveness. So in this phase, you're going to bring to mind someone whom you feel may have wronged you, and simply repeat this statement: I forgive you, and I ask that you forgive me. That's simple. Now we go on to phase 4. Now phase 4 is about future dreaming. See, so far, everything that we've spoken about is about the present. It's about happiness levels in the present. Now we go to thinking about what's happening in your life in the future. So I'm a big fan of this phase. This is really what some people call creative visualization. Single most important thing I did every single day was think about what I wanted to attract in my life and visualize that in that meditation. So there's something really interesting about your brain, right? We tend to overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can do in 3. There was a study on this. So when I'm visualizing, and when you do this, I want you to think 3 years ahead. And whatever you see 3 years ahead, double that. Because your brain is going to underestimate what you're actually capable of. It's a really interesting phenomenon. Famous essay called Egolessness. And in that essay, Kant said, the great saints, mystics, and sages from Moses to Christ to Padmasambhava, they were not feeble-minded milquetoast, but movers and shakers. From bullwhips in the temple to subduing entire continents. They did not live their life based on some pie-in-the-sky piety, but rattled the world to create change, and in some cases, social movements that lasted thousands of years. Think about that. I think the greatest people in the world, the most spiritual people in the world, are people like Elon Musk and Larry Page, whom we may not perceive through a traditional sense of being spiritual, but you think about the good they're doing for the world. Because they have that vision, all of us should be like that. And that's why this vision part is such an important aspect of this practice. Okay, but now, following the vision, we go on to the 5th stage, which is where, taking that vision into mind, you visualize how you'd like your perfect day today to unfold. You visualize starting your morning, alert, excited, going to work, having an amazing lunch meeting with incredible colleagues, enjoying what you eat, having great ideas come to you, perhaps going home a little bit early, being able to have time to play with your kid. Now, why does this work? Why does visualizing the perfect day work so well? Well, some people think it's because your thoughts create your reality. Maybe. But what I found is this. When you tell yourself and pretend that you can influence the outcome of your day, that you can decide that you're going to have an amazing lunch, when things go wrong, let's say the waiter screws up your order, or it comes late, or he spills water on your table, you're less likely to focus on that. And instead, you're more likely to focus on the great taste of the food, or that amazing conversation with your friend, or the beautiful ideas you were getting as you were eating. You're actually actively training your brain to ignore the negative bits and focus and embrace the positive bits. So whether you're shifting the world with your mind or not, you are shifting your level of happiness and learning to appreciate the good stuff in life. And then we go on to the final stage, which is what we call the blessing. Okay, now in the blessing, you're simply going to assume that there's a higher power that's supporting you. Now, you could be religious, you could be an atheist, it doesn't matter. Pick whatever God you believe in, or pick whatever higher power you believe in. It could even be your future self if you're atheist. And just imagine that your vision, your perfect day, everything you want out of life is being supported. And you're going to imagine a powerful energy just flowing down into you, giving you the strength and energy to wake up and kick butt and make that day happen. That's called the blessing. And so meditation to me is not just about going zen. It's not just about like focusing on your breathing. It's about knowing how to tap in, which you do so well. And then knowing how to get clear on what you want and to focus on that vision for a few minutes every day.